The defender, Oracle Team USA. The challenger, Emirates Team New Zealand. The prize, the oldest trophy in international sport, the America's Cup. In 2010, Larry Ellison fulfilled a dream, reclaiming the cup for the United States. Today, the battle begins to keep it. This is the start of a new chapter in one of America's greatest sporting stories. New Zealand ruled the knockout series, beating Sweden and Italy, winning the right to take on USA. It's James Spithill against Dean Barker. America against New Zealand, racing giant foiling catamarans that fly on the water. They're fast, furious, punishing. Welcome to San Francisco, where the showdown begins. It's day one of the 34th America's Cup. We're in San Francisco, California, where the stage is set for an on-the-water war that has been waged for over 162 years. Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, along with Nathan Outeridge. And Nathan, as you know, there's a universal moment that every sailor who's ever endeavored to race for the Cup yearns for. It's the start of race one of the America's Cup. It's the world's best sailors in the world's fastest boats, and we couldn't have two more evenly matched teams. Oracle Team USA, the hometown team, last won the Cup and is now fighting to defend it, while Emirates Team New Zealand is fighting for their livelihood. They're representing an entire nation that waited 10 years to hoist this trophy again. Both teams are driven by talented sailing stars who've won the Cup before. Behind Oracle Team USA is Jimmy Spithill, the youngest helmsman ever to have won the Cup. This is the team's first defense, and the stakes have never been higher.
The defender of the 34th America's Cup is Oracle Team USA, a star-studded industrial-sized sailing team backed by software magnate Larry Ellison and headed by CEO Russell Coutts, a four-time winner of the America's Cup.
There's a big team involved this time, and frankly, I'm in a secondary role. I'm facilitating things and helping the team as much as I can, but I think the skill of our team is going to come out this time from the sailors on the water.
Instrumental on the water is fire starter helmsman and skipper James Spithill, who sailed in 3 Cup campaigns without reward before linking up with Russell Coutts and Oracle Team USA to bring about some radical changes to the event.
After we won the 33rd America's Cup, we knew we needed to make some changes. We didn't know what boat we would be sailing, but pretty quickly, once we started sailing the multi-hulls, it was a no-brainer. A lot of traditionalists were dead against it, and even some of the old Cup teams were dead against it, but now all of those guys are converted for life. I mean, you cannot go back after you've sailed a boat like this.
As the challenger teams battled it out for the Louis Vuitton Cup, the defender was racing in-house, head-to-head with their second boat.
We've got 2 great boats, we've got 2 great sailing teams, a lot of talent. However, racing in-house is different than doing a real race. I think, though, the level of racing we've had has been higher. I mean, the fact is that we've been head-to-head around the racetrack.
It remains to be seen whether Oracle Team USA's extensive 2-boat racing program is sufficient to retain the Cup. Only time will tell.
We've been looking forward to this moment for a long time. If it was easy, it wouldn't be worth doing.
And that's the great thing about sport. I honestly don't know who's going to win this. I'd put it at 50-50 right now.
Behind the wheel of Emirates Team New Zealand is Dean Barker, who defended the Cup in 2000 and then lost in 2003. Since then, he's been on a quest to get it back. That almost happened in 2007 until the Kiwis fell to the Swiss defender Alinghi. That's a mistake they do not plan to have again.
The challenger for the 34th America's Cup is Emirates Team New Zealand, a proudly Kiwi small-scale team headed by the tireless Grant Dalton.
The core strength of this team is undoubtedly its culture and its belief and its knowledge that it exists for the simple purpose of trying to return the Cup to New Zealand.
Although all-conquering in the Louis Vuitton Cup, the one-sided nature of the Challenger Series could have put the Kiwis at a disadvantage. It's an issue they've addressed with a little help from their friends.
I think the lack of racing is not an advantage to us, and they've had some tight, racing, be able to simulate circumstance that might occur on the racecourse, so we haven't seen a lot of those scenarios before. In the last 2 weeks, a week and a half since the Louis Vuitton, we've been able to do a bit of that with Prada, and they've been fantastic, setting themselves up in positions that we've had to work out what to do next.
The team's key strength on the racetrack has been their coordination on board. Poetry in motion.
I think our crew work has been phenomenal in the way we've improved all the way through this process. It's just been, fantastic, and I'm really, really proud of the way the guys have come together and kept pushing hard just to try and be that little bit better.
I think from what we're seeing on the racecourse, Oracle's crew work is now there. They got there. Just got there, but you only got to just get there. So they're absolutely our equal.
But the million-dollar question is, has Emirates Team New Zealand done enough to snatch the cup from Oracle Team USA's grasp?
One team's going to be faster, and we hope it's us.
Is it close? Maybe. Are we miles apart? Maybe. Are they faster than us? Maybe. Are we faster than them? I just don't know. I really don't know. I know I'm nervous.
Here's a look at the crew aboard Emirates Team New Zealand.
And starting from the front, the daggerboard controllers, Adam Bichel and Jeremy Lomas. These guys are responsible for getting the boards up and down in the boat. And in the center of the boat, we have the grinders, the powerhouse of his team. And leading from the middle is Managing Director Grant Dalton. And at the back here, we have the wing trimmer and the trimmer, James Dagg and Glenn Ashby. Glenn's responsible for really controlling the throttle of this boat from the wing. And at the back of the boat here, we have Dean Barker and Ray Davies. What a great combination at the back. Look for these guys to have really solid communication throughout the racecourse.
Live pictures from the dock-out show today. The team looks pretty relaxed, but I'm sure they couldn't be more fired up. And just think of the pressure they're under. They've got the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders. And Dean Barker knows it. We had a chance to catch up with him a few moments ago.
It's a big occasion for the team. We've come a long way in the last 3 years. We can only believe in what we've done, and we're very, very pleased with the performance of the boat, the gains we've made all the way through. In the end, it'll either be enough or it won't, and it sounds a little bit hard to swallow one way or another, but in the end, if they're fast or faster than us, then it's going to be a very tough series for us.
Now let's meet the crew of Oracle Team USA.
And the daggerboard controllers here, we have Shannon Falcone. He was a member of the 2010 BMW Oracle winning team at the last America's Cup. In the center of the boat, we have the grinders. Rome Kirby, he's come straight from the Volvo Ocean Race last year and has joined this experienced team and is slotted in very nicely. And towards the back, we have the trimmers here. Kyle Langford, this is the biggest day of his life. He's the youngest member of this team and he's been given the job to trim the wing. And at the back of the boat, we have the afterguard. And look at this team, a great combination between John Kostecki and Jimmy Spittle. Look for JK to make some great decisions as it's his home waters here in San Francisco Bay.
And there are the team members of Oracle Team USA, the Defender, who is also under immense pressure to keep the cup here in the U.S. And they don't have the luxury of having raced through the Louis Vuitton Challenger Series as practice. Helmsman Jimmy Spithill knows it will be all on in the pre-start.
Well, it's the key. I mean, we won't know until we get out there, but we'll come out hard. We'll be as aggressive as we can, and we'll, obviously go out there and enjoy ourselves at the same time. We're ready to go. We've waited a long time for this. We've worked very, very hard for this, and it's time to put it together on the water.
And on the water we go. You can see the pre-start entry box. It's going to be Emirates Team New Zealand to the left-hand side and Oracle Team USA to the right on starboard. And there you're looking at the race committee boat. Regardless, the breeze is up, Nathan.
Yeah, it's been pretty soft this morning, but the westerlies just come in now. We've got a nice sort of 16 to 18 knots. It's slowly building, and again, it's flooding again. So, you know, it's going to be a really good day. I think we're going to be inside the wind limits, no problems, and really looking forward to a good day sailing.
Today's course is a 5-leg course starting between 2 marks just below the Golden Gate Bridge, and the boats will fast reach into mark number 1. Left-hand turn, they'll head downwind to the leeward gates, where they can turn left or right, then back upwind into the wind direction, and then downwind, a final run around mark number 4 and a high-speed sprint to the finish off America's Cup Park.
And here you can see with the graphics, amazing graphics we have here to give you guys on the TV, and you can see it's flooding. And look there at the bottom, there's a lot of relief around Alcatraz there, so expect the teams to be going up the cone behind Alcatraz, and as they move up the course to the top, really looking like it's starting to ebb on the left at the top. So look for a left-hand favourite track at the top of the course.
Conditions look good out there. Plenty of breeze for this start of the America's Cup. 16.5 knots, likely to increase. The flood tide coming in under the Golden Gate Bridge, also increasing throughout the day. Both teams are ready. Jimmy Spithill to the right at the helm of Oracle Team USA. Dean Barker on the left. And they look calm, cool, and collected.
They do. You know, Dean Barker and Ray have been here many times before, but this is the first time Jimmy's going to do a proper race. So, you know, there's going to be nerves on both teams, but I think they're ready to race. And, you know, as we've seen them training all year long, I think it's going to be a really good match.
So there we go. 2 minutes, 43 seconds to the entry into the pre-start. And it's important to note that due to some rules infractions that occurred in the America's Cup World Series, Oracle Team USA has been penalized 2 race points. To win the Cup, they're going to have to earn 11 points to Emirates Team New Zealand's 9. So here it is, Emirates Team New Zealand on the left-hand side, entering on port tack and building speed. Nathan, as you said, 2 minutes, 10 seconds is the port boat's entry time, and that's done for safety. Oracle Team USA will enter the start on starboard at exactly 2 minutes. And we're into the pre-start here in race number 1.
Looks like it was pretty good time on distance there, and we'll see Jimmy coming here, and we expect him to jibe. That seems to be the key move. So we'll look for him to jibe, and then it's up to Dean to decide when he wants to lead back to the start line here.
You hear the guys talking on board, distance to the boundary, distance to the next maneuver. For each team will head back to the line. The question now on board Emirates Team New Zealand. Will they turn back first? 1:35 to go.
And here they go, moving into attack. So big call here, rolling into attack, and we expect Jimmy Spittle's probably going to make an aggressive move here and tack directly in front of him. We'll wait and see what he decides to do. Big decision there. So he's going for the jibe, and I think Dean turned around at the right time there. About 1:30 he started the turn.
They're holding.
And let's just listen on board to see what they've got to say.
Gotta go hot, hot.
Okay, he's down a little now.
Come on, mate, go with.
He can't. He's locked.
Going speed here.
He's going over the top.
Full speed.
50 seconds to go, the 2 teams converging.
Yeah, what we can hear there is Tom Slingsby behind Jimmy saying he's locked. He can't go behind us. He's going to try and roll us, so be ready to defend the roll. And they're still a long way from the line with a bit of time to kill here.
Guys, can't get to the boat. Only 13 to kill, Dino.
So, Oracle Team USA to leeward, to the left. Emirates Team New Zealand to windward. Who would you rather be?
I'm liking where Dean is at the moment. I think he's in a good position. I heard Ray Davies say we can't get locked out at the windward end. So it's a time on distance starts between the 2 boats, and we're about to find out who's faster on each one.
So we are just 15 seconds away from the moment where the entire sailing world holds its breath. It's Oracle Team USA to leeward, Emirates Team New Zealand to windward as they approach the line for the start of race number 1 of the 34th America's Cup.
All clear, all clear.
Nice guys.
It looked like Jimmy was a little bit late there on that start. Dean did a really good job on the time on distance. He's got his bow forward. I think Oracle still has wind clear, but as you can see here, Dean just seems to be a little faster on the first reach.
The wing wash coming off of Emirates Team New Zealand, and Nathan, it looks like they might have a slight edge. Who will get into the zone at mark number 1 first? This moment is huge, and it belongs to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Wow, really close moments there, just pushing hard to get around the mark on in front. And once again, Team New Zealand, always first around mark 1, aren't they?
And the delta, just a couple seconds, 4 to be exact, and we're on our way, ripping downwind, both boats up on the foils. What an amazing start to this first race.
It couldn't have been closer if you tried, and this is the key moment. Let's see who's good at these jobs. We know Team New Zealand are really good. Looks like Jimmy's going to go a little further, go a little bit closer to that boundary, and just do a job not under any pressure. But again, look at that amazing job by Team New Zealand.
Happy to go here. Go bottom. Go forward, Simon.
Nathan, you were right. The crew work from Emirates Team New Zealand, flawless as you would expect. Now it's Oracle Team USA's turn. Foil to foil job.
Yeah, well, these guys have obviously been watching very closely what Team New Zealand have been doing, and you know, it's going to be a pretty good race here. It looks like the Kiwis are slightly out in front when we go to the overhead picture here, and it'll be interesting to see now a speed difference between the two boats. Looking like the Kiwis are slightly faster at the moment.
Now we'll go through a replay of leg number 1, and Nathan, talk us through it.
Yeah, it was really tight. I think Dean did a better job on the time on distance, and he seemed to be just a little bit faster on the first reach there, and looked like Jimmy just, you can see the red light there flashing. He went for a protest. He's trying to get a luff here in coming into mark 1. Didn't quite get successful though.
There's the luff you're referring to. No blood, no foul. Emirates Team New Zealand crosses just ahead of Oracle Team USA. Look at that, incredibly close.
And we did say he was going to be aggressive, and these boats are doing 40 knots of boat speed, and that's a big manoeuvre there. You know, you would hate to have the boats come together, but unfortunately that push for a penalty didn't really end up coming to his advantage.
Here we go, the first cross on the run. Emirates Team New Zealand has still got it, but only just about 2 lengths in it.
Well, we did say it was going to be a close race, and check that out. That's the closest cross we've seen in any racing to date. And I think, you know, they're going to go a little further here and look at a jibe closer out to the boundary.
On board, Oracle Team USA.
Nice, Tommy.
That's a pretty nice jibe, bottom speed of 30 knots. I heard them saying they've been doing a few in that kind of vicinity, and I think they've jibed in a really good spot there, because now they're on starboard tack. Boat never touched the water the whole way through that jibe, and when Team New Zealand jibe back onto port, they're going to have a really tough situation here to cross ahead of USA.
This way, 50 the other. Standing by.
Setting up for a jibe on board Emirates Team New Zealand with Dean Barker at the helm.
Once again, another nice jibe there, full foiling jibe, but just textbook stuff for these guys. And you know, I'm interested to see how tight this cross is going to be. Looks like they're going to just get ahead of them here.
Under the rules, Oracle Team USA has right of way if it's close, but it's not. Emirates Team New Zealand has got it.
Wow, check that out. That's close, isn't it? I heard JK say marginal cross here, and it looked like Jimmy tried to hunt him down a little bit to try and get a penalty, but clear cross there for Emirates Team New Zealand, and shaping up to be a really good race coming into the bottom mark.
30 seconds the other way, happy to go. 20.
So far we have seen a very smooth Emirates Team New Zealand, a very aggressive Oracle Team USA. They tried to luff them after the start on the first reach, and you just saw that bobble there. Jimmy Spithill acted like he had to change course, but no penalty there. So it's all even as far as penalties are concerned as we head into the Leeward Gates, mark number 2.
And Oracle here jibing on the lail under the bottom mark. Look at that. Once again, another perfect foiling jibe, and shaping up to be a really close race bottom mark here. Emirates Team New Zealand, I don't think, are on the ley line to the bottom mark, so they need another jibe to come here. That's a good spot to jibe there by Dean. I think he jibed directly in front of Jimmy, not letting him have any passing moments, and they're going to round within 2 lengths of each other here at the bottom mark.
Man, fantastic! Look how close it is. This is terrific. This is the close racing everybody around the world was hoping for. Mark number 2, the Leeward marks. It's Emirates Team New Zealand ahead. Still the delta, only 4 seconds.
Yeah, really close here, and Dean looked like he pointed really high around that bottom mark to really try and get in Jimmy's way. And look at that close situation, and Dean goes around the outside, and he's going to take the starboard advantage. So I think that's a huge gain there for Oracle.
Another protest filed by Oracle Team USA. The umpires will make the call, but there is definitely an overlap. The race is dead even at this point.
And we said Jimmy was going to be aggressive, and that's the 3rd time we've seen them use the protest flag, and looks like Team New Zealand also went for a protest there. So we'll wait for the jury to come up with a decision on that mark around him.
Very close now. Both boats head to the left as we take a look at a replay. Here we are at the bottom mark, Nathan.
You can hear the voices on board here, and it looks like they've gone the outside to try and get a luff. It looked like to me that Dean just was a little bit slow coming out of the bottom mark, and Jimmy took the chance to come in fast, foiling here around the bottom market, and goes around the outside. And as soon as he gets the overlap to leeward, you'll watch here, it looks like he tries to just give him a little bit of luff. You know, there's no contact between the boats, and at this moment, Dean has no option but to tack. And the umpires obviously decided not an issue there, and the race continues.
Pretty even mode.
Back in the race, we're heading upwind. You heard John Kostecki there saying he cannot cross. Nathan, what's he referring to?
Well, what he's referring to here is that, you know, as you can see on the Emirates boat, looking at team to Oracle in the distance there, they're on starboard tack. They have the right of way, and it looks like Oracle's made a gain by going up the cone behind Alcatraz. And even though you're looking at this shot here, they are ahead by 92 meters. When they tack, they're not going to get clear across. So it's a really strong position here for USA.
Little gains to them.
Have a look straight out of that.
Chance to cross.
10. Standing by in 3, 2, 1. Tacking.
This is going to be a huge moment in the race. We know they were dead even around the leeward mark. We know Emirates Team New Zealand, under the rules, will have to avoid if it's close. Oracle Team USA on starboard, and it's bow to bow.
Going for a dip here.
I just heard there they're going for a dip, so we'll see if there's a dial down coming here. Jimmy might decide to dial down at Emirates too.
I'm happy for a higher boat.
There's the cross. Oracle Team USA have done it. A lead change, and the Americans are now in the lead.
Sounds like from Jimmy there, he wants to go all the way into the boundary from here. They've made the gain. Now the important thing is that when they tack back onto port, that they continue to lead this race. So they need to keep pushing hard here to cross Emirates Team New Zealand when they come back together.
This is fantastic stuff. These two teams trading blows like two prize fighters, incredibly evenly matched. Here comes another cross.
Big moment coming here again. I heard, you know, we need to make this cross from the guys on board, and let's just listen to see what happens here.
100% of the cross or not?
Close cross. Emirates Team New Zealand on starboard. Oracle Team USA have got it.
Standing by at 10.
That's a very close cross, and extremely important because from here, I think Oracle are going to just extend a little further out into the middle. They know they have the starboard advantage coming back. It looked like the Emirates Team New Zealand called for a protest, and the umpires called no protest, no penalty. So, you know, they're going at it. Both teams are going really hard at it. It's exactly what you expect in the first race of the America's Cup.
Just let us know about the mode too, okay? What do you think of the mode, Slingers? All right? Very similar.
What you could hear there is Jimmy asking Tom Slingsby, who's right behind him, what do you think of the mode? Because Jimmy, to keep this boat going fast, needs to keep looking forward. You can see how close everything is together on the boat. And Tommy there is facing backwards, always looking at the other boat, and this will be the first chance we really get to see how fast they are together.
A little left, but just so you know. set up.
Stand by, guys. Please hit. 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Another tack from Oracle Team USA. Potentially another dip from Emirates Team New Zealand, the boat that has to give way as the Americans head to the left of the race course.
Let's have a listen on New Zealand and see what their plan is from here. They've got to get back into this race somehow.
10. Standing by in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
So Nathan, it looks like the Kiwis are going to stay with the American team heading towards the upper left, and early on in the show you told us based on the current there's some relief up there, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're about halfway up the beat now, and you can see them coming up towards the Golden Gate Yacht Club, and the current is definitely a lot more favourable going upwind on the left. We've got a bit of flood on the outside, about a knot or so, and on the inside it's slack water or maybe even a little ebb. So that's why Oracle are happy to get rid of the starboard advantage in this situation and get into the shore and get current relief.
That is a different Dean Barker than we have seen in the Louis Vuitton Cup. His face looks intense, and it should be, considering how this race is going.
To me, it looks like they've come offshore a little further. They had no choice, but they've gone out there anyway, and it looks like they've got a little bit of a right-hand shift, and we're going low mode for a while. But when we go to the helicopter shot here now, it looks like it's starting to go left on the shore. You can see that current line just inside of the boundary, and you'll expect Oracle to tacky pretty soon before this boundary and maybe make a small gain. But again, a very tight cross coming up.
2, 1, here we go, tacking, high build.
So the current will advantage Oracle Team USA on this left-hand side, but the rules a disadvantage. They're on port. Emirates Team New Zealand has rights at the next cross.
Let's go. Go, go, go.
Have a look at that. It is another lead change. Now New Zealand's out in front.
Oh, this race has got everything so far. How good's this? This is what we've been waiting for 2 months, and finally we've got it. And it looked like Oracle just didn't make the cross. They slowed a little out of the tack to let New Zealand get across in there. And now we've got another really tight line up here. Now we're going to find out which boat's faster upwind. This is the first time they've really been close together, not affecting each other's wind, and we'll listen in on board and see what they think.
He is vulnerable if we tack. He has to time it perfectly, Jimmy. He's slightly faster, slightly lower. VMG slightly to him.
Okay, we'll be trying to
I even have him slightly, maybe crossing in attack here.
Okay.
So to me,
I'd like to go pretty
doesn't
soon
sound good for Oracle at this moment. Tom Slingsby's saying they're a little faster, a little lower, and you can see there on the graphics, 24 knots versus 22. So looking like attack coming here from Oracle.
Do it quick, Dave.
2, 1, here we go, tacking.
You expect, yeah, there you go, tacking straight away with him. So they both want to go left, and how impressive is that from Team New Zealand to make that little gain, and now they've got control of the race.
Simultaneous tacks as Emirates Team New Zealand closes the door on Oracle Team USA and solidifies this lead a length and a half.
And that forces Oracle to tack out again. So Dean Barker and his crew, they must be really happy with that manoeuvre. Oracle were trying to tack, get to shore and get back into the favoured side, and they were able to cover them, force them the wrong way. And I expect at the next cross coming that Emirates Team New Zealand will have a nice little lead.
6, 7 lengths above us. 10 lengths. Backward. Go back, quick girl.
We're looking at upwind VMG, the fastest course to the next mark, balancing boat speed and course angle.
So what we're looking at here is the top numbers, the boat speed of the boats through the water. The next one's the angle they're sailing to the breeze. And then the bottom one is an overall boat speed and angle put together. So you can see here, Oracle USA, you know, they're going a little bit quicker than Emirates Team New Zealand at the moment. But if you average those two numbers, basically you want to go as fast as you can and as high as you can to the top mark.
Let's set up here, guys. 10. Standing by in 3. Nice and smooth.
Emirates Team New Zealand looks as though they're getting more comfortable with this lead as they tack yet again.
Come on, boys, stick it in. Going to lay line right. Right that lay.
Good comms on board. Yeah, really good comms on board here. You can see they've tacked in a really good position, and you can see the wing wash shot here. It looks like Oracle are just forward of it. They've got wind coming around the front of Emirates Team New Zealand, so they didn't tack in a position to slow the other team down, but they tacked in a position to maintain control of this race, and that's exactly what they're doing, staying between Oracle and the top mark.
Hear how hard these guys are working on board.
Very different to the races we've seen before, where the lead boat just seems to stretch away. These guys are working hard for this lead, and all I can hear on board is just puffing the whole time.
50 seconds to boundary. 50 copy. No rush to drive, that's forced out. Yeah, boundary drive is nice, I agree.
I'm just hearing Ray there with the comments. They've tacked on the ley line to the top mark, and now he's feeding information about what are we going to do after the top mark. You know, how far do we have once we come around the mark to the boundary, and they've done an amazing job from leading around the bottom mark to being passed and now back in front again. So it's got to be, they've got to be happy right now.
Oh, I'm sure they are, and now the pressure shifts to Oracle Team USA behind them. This will be the final run on this race course, but it is definitely Emirates Team New Zealand strong as they head around the top marks. It'll be a right-hand turn around the right gate.
Beautiful conditions out there, isn't it? You know, it's sort of 16 to 18 knots and the boat ripping around the mark at 43 knots of boat speed. And from here, you know, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot Oracle can do except follow. Another tacky is going to slow them down, and we'll just watch them around the mark here and listen to what their plan is from here.
So 4 seconds was the delta at the leeward gate here at the top mark. It is 25 seconds, the delta, Emirates Team New Zealand over Oracle Team USA.
45 seconds. 35.
Jimmy Spithill on board, Oracle Team USA. He does not look very happy with this situation.
15. A little bit of a pump on here. Stand by, guys. 10 seconds. Go button, Tommy. Go forward, Simeon.
You can see here they have to jibe before the boundary. They don't have many options on this downwind. They had to follow around that top mark, and now they're just relying on boat speed to try and make a gain down this run. But you can see there, 39 knots. It's pretty hard to catch a boat when they're doing 40 knots of boat speed.
Nathan, put yourself inside the head of Jimmy Spithill. Very aggressive on the start. They were behind. They passed them at the leeward mark. They were in a strong position, but then they've got passed again. Now the view in front of them is Emirates Team New Zealand's transom, and that's got to be tough for Spithill to swallow.
It is. It's very tough. You know, obviously they made a mistake on that beat. They let the Kiwis get the starboard tack advantage, and as we saw when they got to the shore, they didn't make the cross. And there's nothing you can do about that now. All they got to do is just keep this boat going fast and just wait for an error to come up ahead. But you know, we've seen the Kiwis sail time and time again, and pretty unlikely that's going to happen. So they're just got to keep pushing here, and we'll listen on board and see what their plan is.
Take a little on. Yeah, if you can, Simeon. Little wind.
To me, it looks like from this shot, they do sail a little bit lower than Emirates Team New Zealand, so maybe they've got a little bit more wind than the Kiwis.
Still another 30 seconds.
So very similar in speeds, but do you think the Americans have a little angle advantage sailing downwind?
Yeah, it's just looking from this shot, it looks like they're pointing lower, and you can see on this graphic, very similar speeds, but Emirates Team New Zealand are at an angle of 146, whereas Oracle are at 150. So it looks like they're just making a small gain, and you can see the bottom number, the VMG, is about a knot difference. So, you know, it's 29, 30 knots to 31 knots. So Oracle have a faster boat, as we always thought, but Emirates are doing a great job of getting their boat around the racetrack.
Dean Barker told us in a press conference earlier that if you lead around the top mark going into the final run, it's going to be very hard for the trailing boat to pass. He's in a defensive mode at this point.
Once again, a very nice jibe there, and they weren't under any pressure this time. They knew they had a nice lead, and I could hear Ray Davies the whole time going down. We're just talking about 2 minutes this way, 1 minute 30 that way. They're just shaping up so they can round the bottom mark without any errors, and looks like they've jibed in a position, so they've got one more jibe and then they round the bottom mark to the finish from here.
110.
Sounds pretty calm on board now, less puffing, and they're just sort of relaxing into this race. And looking at the boat speeds, I can see on the right-hand side here is 40 knots of boat speed at Emirates Team New Zealand at the moment versus a 36 knots from Oracle. So it's pretty puffy out there. The only reason you get those differences in boat speed is because you're in better puffs, and looking like they're just heading down to the ley line out to the left there at the moment, and Oracle have no choice now but to split and try and make a gain going a different direction.
Happy to go. Stand by, guys. Go Tommy, go Button. Go board, Simeon.
Oracle Team USA off to the right-hand side looking downwind. Jibing back into the center of the course, giving chase to Emirates Team New Zealand. New Zealand doing the same, jibing in to the final turning marks. In front of them, the finish line. Behind them, Oracle Team USA. And this is a view that Kiwi fans around the world had hoped to see. An impressive race for the Kiwis so far.
Yeah, very solid of these guys. You know, they made one error at the bottom mark and let Oracle get into the race. Then they lost the lead and then they got it back. So they've got to be pretty happy at the moment.
Here they go, skidding around the final turn. The finish line out in front. It's Emirates Team New Zealand. The delta increasing and time running out for Oracle Team USA.
You can see some of the new features on their boat there in this shot. They've got these new fairings on the aft of the boat, and I wonder if that's made a difference in their performance going forward. I heard a lot of talk about the additions they've made to their boat, and maybe that's what's just helped them out in those tight situations when they need that extra bit of boat speed.
Well, they certainly have it now. Here's the delta as Oracle Team USA rounds the mark, 34 seconds behind the Kiwis. It was close at Mark 1. It was close downwind. It was close upwind again until the Kiwis finally took control. And the Americans know it. All of the fans here in San Francisco and at America's Cup Park and around the world, and certainly down at that tiny nation of New Zealand, will be cheering huge right now. The first race of the America's Cup goes to Emirates Team New Zealand. Look at all the fans on shore. Lots of Kiwi flags flying. What a big moment for Dean Barker and his crew.
A massive moment, and you know, probably a huge relief for these guys. No one knew exactly how this race was going to go. I guess they all had their thoughts. No one wanted to say in the public that they were confident they were going to win, and looking at that first bit, you can see why, can't you? It was a tight race all the way until the last top mark.
Well, that race certainly delivered everything we had hoped for, unless you're a fan of this team, Oracle Team USA. The delta, 36 seconds.
Good effort.
And an unhappy Jimmy Spithill on board. What a race.
Yeah, it was amazing. You know, I was shocked at what happened at the bottom mark. You know, Dean made a little error and let Jimmy get in and get the hook around the bottom mark, and then that set up a really tight beat. And then once they got further up the beat, Dean took his chances and made a gain from there.
Dean Barker at the helm of Emirates Team New Zealand. This his 4th America's Cup. Looks calm, happy, and a big sigh of relief. They know they've won this first race, and they definitely earned it.
Check out the crowd down there. There's so many people down here to see this race. We all knew it was going to be a big day, but I've never seen that many people in the park, and it's great to see.
It is standing room only all the way to the back at America's Cup Park. And if they look like they're close to these boats, it's because they definitely are. Just a few lengths from the fans. Never before has the America's Cup racecourse been brought inshore to the fans, and they're loving it. Well, if you came down to America's Cup Park today, you definitely got what you'd hoped to see. Very close racing, very exciting action. If you're a Kiwi fan, just the right race. One up now over that boat, Oracle Team USA, but let's be fair, that race was pretty darn close, and Oracle Team USA has got wheels, don't they?
Oh, they sure do. There's no way you can say that Emirates are going to walk away with this event. Yes, they won the first race, but it was really tight racing just from the start, the whole way around, and all it took was just to get slightly out of phase. Dean Barker did a great job of tacking right on top of them halfway up the beat, and then that's where the gains came.
On board, let's listen in to see what Dean Barker has to say.
Dean, congratulations. I know it's just one race, but it's got to feel awfully good to get this campaign underway.
Well, at least it's not going to be a down trail. So always nice to get the first point under the belt. But I think what we saw there was one hell of a yacht race, and it's only going to get harder. So we're obviously very happy with the way we sailed in that one. The guys did a really good job, yeah, nice to sneak away with a win.
Hey, Dean, great race. Congratulations. Upwind, downwind. I mean, we all anticipate what is going to happen in this first America's Cup race always. Give us your gut feel. Reaching, downwind, upwind. How do the boats stack up against each other?
It's just too early to say. I think we seem like we're reasonably competitive upwind. It's hard to see terribly much in a downwind. I don't know whether you guys saw anything down there, but I think it just all comes down to a little bit of positioning. And that first run, we had a nice start, nice little lead, and they just got a little bit closer to Alcatraz and carried slightly better pressure. And next intersection, it was just a little bit too close. So we certainly we're going to have to be on our game, to keep beating these guys.
Dean, a lot of protest out there between both boats, you and them. Getting a little emotional out there between you and Spithill?
I don't know what they were pushing their white flag button for so much. I think they were getting a little carried away. But I guess rugby's racing, and as long as we actually keep the boats apart, well, it'll be good.
Dean, congratulations. I know it's just one win, but you're 8 away from claiming the America's Cup. We'll let you get ready for race number 2.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, guys.
So you heard Dean Barker, as long as they keep the boats apart, it'll be good. Well, they certainly didn't keep much distance between them in the first half of that race, did they?
No, we knew Jimmy was going to be quite aggressive, and he kept asking, didn't understand why so many white flags kept being pressed, and not once did we see a penalty, so the umpires are on top of it, and I never saw anything that was worth giving a penalty, but great to see how close they were pushing it out there. Looks like they're on board here with Oracle, and looks like they're doing a jib change, so maybe the breeze has built a little bit, and this is why they're just going to a smaller sail for the next race.
So the teams will regroup, reassess the setup of their boats, and Nathan, as you said, their sail selection for the headsail.
It's always a big call what to do before the race. You've got a few things that you can choose. You've got to pick your jib before the start. You've got to decide if you want a code 0. And this morning there was a lot of talk about the code 0s being used, but
the code 0 being the larger Jennikers that they put up for the downwind run.
Exactly, yeah, the downwind sails, which seem to be around the 8 to 10 knots wind range, is when you would want to use it. Anything under that, and as we saw it there, the breeze built up for that, so no need for that. But now it's a tough call on what jib to use, and Oracle obviously made the choice straight away to go to a smaller jib for the next race, and they've got the shore crew and all the support team on there helping him out, and I guess the guys at the back of the boat, JK and Jimmy, are going to be having a bit of a chat and a think about what mistakes did we make in that race? Why didn't we lead around Mark 1, and what can we do better? And these guys are professionals, so it's not going to be an issue for them. I expect to see them sending it again in the next one.
Well, it was Emirates Team New Zealand to windward, rolling over Oracle Team USA. Do you think we'll see Spithill trying to fight for the windward position in race 2?
Yeah, there's a good chance. We saw that Oracle were entering on the starboard tack, and in typical match racing, that would be the advantaged end. But when you enter on port with the new rules and the way they offset the line and the 10-second advantage, it allowed Emirates Team New Zealand only to make one manoeuvre. They just had to do one tack around, and then that forces Oracle to make a tough call whether they're going to lead them back and be early, or have to go past and follow. So this race, I think we're going to see Oracle entering on port, and it's their turn to make the first decision in the pre-start.
Well, we're going to go on board with Jimmy Spithill, the helmsman of Oracle Team USA. And Jimmy, what an amazing race. The boats were incredibly close. What are your thoughts on your boat's performance versus Emirates Team New Zealand?
I thought it was very similar. I thought both boats very, very close. We had a couple of incidents, you know, a few protest flags, and yeah, a great race, really.
Yeah, Jimmy and Nathan, I was really impressed to see how close the racing was and how aggressive it is. And obviously a lot of YFACs being pressed out there in the first race. You happy with all the umpires' decisions, or you got a different idea of it all?
No, man, look, it was pretty close. All the calls were a little surprised here and there, but I mean, all in all, it was. I think it sort of evened out, and yeah, it was a great little battle. And looking forward to the next one.
Well, Jimmy, speaking of the next one, what are you planning on doing differently, if anything, in the next race?
Well, winning it, of course.
Will you take a different approach on the pre-start, leeward position, windward position?
Yeah, we actually thought we might have just got round there, but they were obviously able to accelerate a little better just before we got to the reach mark there. So, yeah, we'll have a look at it this start, but we're expecting a tough race. I think it'll be like this the whole series, and we're going to see if we can get out there and get the afternoon race.
Well, it certainly is fantastic for us to watch you guys down on the water. Good luck in the next race, Jimmy.
Thank you.
So let's take a look at how it all unfolded. Oracle Team USA to leeward, Emirates Team New Zealand to windward. We're off the starting line right now. Nathan, it's even.
It was even. I thought Jimmy was slightly late on the start, and that gave Dean just that tiny advantage. And across the reach, he just got the right moment to get his bow forward and leads around Mark 1. Check out the boats leaping sideways. That's the leeway you get when you're trying to foil a little bit too early or a little bit too high. And that was a pretty close situation, this one right here.
Jimmy goes for an aggressive luff in the wing wash of Emirates Team New Zealand. They lose a bit of speed, crash down right there off the foils. And it was close, but give the advantage to New Zealand.
Yeah, if in doubt, if there's no contact, you'll always get the green flag. And great job by both teams controlling the boats in such close situations there.
So green flag means no penalty. Emirates Team New Zealand leads around mark number 1, and it's going to be them first to jibe into the middle of the course.
And this was a pretty telling moment. We knew exactly how Team New Zealand were going to jibe. They do great jobs at jibing all the time, but the question was, how good was Oracle going to do? And you see them gaining the whole time here.
There's the next cross on the run. Really close, though. Look at that. Emirates Team New Zealand just in the lead. Now heading into mark number 2. Looks comfortable for Emirates Team New Zealand, Nathan, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it looked like they just didn't get the turning quite right here. And you can see how much they slow down there when the windward hull touches the water. I guess they're defending a high position here. And that lets Jimmy get down on the outside of it and forces them into attack because they're luffing here. Really close situation. And maybe a tiny error from Emirates Team New Zealand giving Oracle a little chance there.
Upwind, the game's still very close. The teams trading sides and trading leads. Oracle Team USA is in front at this point. New Zealand crosses behind. Next cross, and Emirates Team New Zealand has the lead.
It's interesting. The boats were trying to get to the left-hand side of the course all the time, and you can see there, Emirates did a little bit of a dial down. They came down on them, and the boat started to foil. So they knew they had the starboard advantage and had to, and that was probably the critical moment in the race.
Well, they took that advantage into a big lead. Race fans were quite happy, particularly the New Zealanders. Emirates Team New Zealand takes race number 1. So the pit crew or support crew for Oracle Team USA coming in to assist the yacht and prepare for race number 2. Nathan, what do you think's going on board?
Looks like they're pointing up at the wing at the moment. You know, we can't see it in our picture here, but they've done a jib change, and maybe there's some damage to their wing. These wings are quite fragile, and looking up, maybe there's a little bit of damage to some of the frames in the wing, or one of the control systems isn't working properly. But I think from where we're looking, it's going to be really difficult to see what is wrong with it. And these boats are so detailed and so fine. Half the time when you're on the boat, you don't even know what's wrong with it, but you just know it's not working properly.
We're on the boat right now. Everything looks good to our eye, but certainly you wouldn't have that many support crew on board with fingers pointing up in the air unless there was some kind of issue.
Perhaps it's a control system inside the wing. You know, you can see guys here with jeans on, like they're not sailors. They're obviously come on, designers or something, to have a look and just given some advice on, you know, what to fix, or if it's just a way to retune the wing differently.
Okay, so let's take a look at the stats. Here are the stats for the downwind legs.
Yeah, and as you can see here, it looks like it's pretty close between the two. Maybe what looks like they've set a little bit more distance with Emirates Team New Zealand, but they're a little bit faster around the racetrack, especially their average speed is just a click higher. And they're doing more jibes, so they're able to jibe more but still have a higher top speed, which shows how much better their jibes are.
And just look at how close their maximum speeds are.
As we said, very, very similar boats, aren't they? Very similar speeds coming from a different area of design.
So now we're going to review the race going downwind on virtual. These graphics, fantastic depiction of what the race was like. This is the first run.
And you can see here, you know, the distance is out a little bit, but one jibe and how quickly it comes together. And this was the tightest jibe we've seen in the race so far. And at the very bottom mark here, Jimmy gets the ley line nice, and Dean just puts it directly in front of him and says there's no way you can get ahead of us here. If he had gone one length further, then Jimmy might have tried to go above him and get buoy room at the bottom mark, but he just jibed in a spot to force Jimmy to slow down, and that gives him the lead around Mark 1.
So good positioning for Emirates Team New Zealand, but right here they slow down.
Yeah, right there they just luffed a little bit out of the mark, and that created this tight situation, and the last thing you want to do is let someone get an overlap on you that close.
So no penalty, it is even, heading back upwind. Let's take a look at the stats for the upwind leg.
Well, it's interesting here, again, sailing more distance on Emirates Team New Zealand, but going faster. Maximum boat speed of 29 knots upwind. We've seen that in the past, and also doing more tacks. So to me, it seems like, you know, they're maybe not doing the least amount of distance. You can see here some repairs happening on Oracle, so hopefully they can get these fixed in time for the race to start.
So the race will be starting momentarily. Hopefully Oracle Team USA can effect that repair quickly.
Tides on the America's Cup course play a key role in a team's tactical game. Vast amounts of water stream out of two huge bays each day, which is the ebb tide, and then Pacific seawater rushes back on the flood tide around 6 hours later. In the 1950s, the U.S. Army Corps built the Bay Model Simulator, and America's Cup defending tactician John Kostecki took us there for an insight.
This is one of the best venues in the world to race sailboats. We have strong winds and these challenging currents, and an exciting place here along the city front to watch all the racing.
The Bay Model speeds up the tidal cycle by 100 times, a useful tool for John Kostecki, who's raced these waters for 45 years.
We're looking at the Bay Model. You know, you can really see the different contours and the depths here, and how the current is really changing and is different, you know, every minute.
There's that incredible amount of water that rushes in through the gate. The difference in speed over the ground can be almost 2.5 knots from the right side of the race course to the left side of the race course here.
We'll have a little play around here, look at some of the different strengths. And so here it's an ebb tide, and you can quite clearly see here it's running, you know, a lot less speed than out there in the middle. It's quite interesting having Alcatraz as part of the racetrack. And it really comes into play because on flood tides, which we have right now, you can see that the die doesn't really move away from the island.
You see Alcatraz Island right in the middle there. With this flood current, that's where all the big relief is on the race course. You see those 2 quick tacks that both boats did? It's really a San Francisco Bay playbook. You have to play the tidal cone behind Alcatraz.
Most spectators will be able to recognize that there is the shallow area because the water really gets kicked up, and you get some rough waves, sometimes breaking waves in that area. And at times there's an acceleration here in the shallow area. You'll be looking at maybe playing this city front area after you play Alcatraz, also for relief to get out of the flood current. And yeah, it's challenging, exciting, and you know, fun to compete and fun to watch. It's probably the best venue in the world to have a sailboat race.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in America's Cup Park, and we have had unprecedented crowds, but more importantly, unprecedented close racing in this America's Cup. It was amazing, and I am joined by a 4-time winner of the America's Cup, Brad Butterworth, and a medal winner at the Olympics, Chris Draper, the helmsman from Luna Rossa Challenge. Well, the first thing we'll have a look at is a little more detail in that pre-start, and we'll go to Brad for a little insight into exactly what he saw. Let's see the pictures as they came into the pre-start. It looked like Emirates Team New Zealand. Well, they sort of had the measure of it, it seemed. Brad.
Well, I think, Andy, it was all about the current there. You know, I think both boats did a good job actually at the start, but when they lined up, Oracle was a little bit, just maybe 1 or 1.5 boat lengths too far down to the left of the other boat, and that caused them to be just a little bit behind at the start.
Yeah, and right here, yeah, it was 2 or 3 seconds, Chris, and Oracle Team USA just didn't quite pull the trigger, and they were to leeward.
Yeah, I mean, Dean and Team New Zealand, they absolutely nailed the entry. I mean, you and I were sat there, we thought they were going to be early, and if you nail the entry, it's so strong. You can come back at the line early and really put the other boat under pressure, and that's exactly what Dean did, and it was very impressive.
So tick to Emirates Team New Zealand, they won the pre-start. Then we had the first leg, the 45-second mad dash up to the first mark, and really, it was all about whether you could start in that windward position. Brad, just talk to us about this.
Well, I think that, you know, Dean did a good job of just rolling over the top, and I didn't see anything in there. The luff from Jimmy was probably a little bit hard, really.
And so did Jimmy do the right thing there? As they came to that mark, he luffed up right behind them, put up the Y flag. He wanted a penalty, Brad.
No, I think that there was, you know, there was no incident there for me, and I think he probably should have done a bit of a nicer manoeuvre there.
And certainly that's good news for Emirates Team New Zealand. They can get off the line ahead and then start ahead. But the race was well, the race was extremely close after that. And we saw crosses. Well, we got the leeward mark also where we had an incident. But we've seen crosses all the way up the race course. And Brad, what's your feeling here? Who was quicker?
Oh, they look pretty close, you know. I think Oracle look to me like they might have a little edge downwind. And Team New Zealand really sailed a great race, I think, to keep it in the race and actually win.
Yeah, Chris, we saw how close these two boats were. Just talk to us about this upwind, back and forth.
Yeah, the really interesting part was here, where they're sailing up through past Aquatic Park and towards Marina Green, where there was a bit of current change, so it was positive current coming up the shore, so it was all about the left here, and JK did a really good job. JK and Slingsby and Jimmy did a great job of positioning early on, but then Razor and the guys on Team New Zealand just did a beautiful job in the second part.
Right here, they ducked underneath and then took the right-hand side where they had starboard advantage, right?
Yeah, and they did a couple of awesome tacks. The Team New Zealand's tacks where they're going sort of lifting the leeward foil by when they decant the board, they remove the cant off the dagger board and it makes the leeward hull lift up as they rotate the boat, and it means that it reduces the friction massively and really keeps the boat speed on.
And the crucial moment was when they were able to tack thin and then slam Oracle Team USA as they were heading upwind, and they gave them dirty air, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was the crux of the beat. There was probably only one real important tack left, which was in the beat, which was to the ley line, and from that moment on, they were always going to stretch, and there was really nowhere for Jimmy to go.
Okay, and if we can go down and have a look at the leeward mark rounding. Brad, you can talk to us about this. There was another Y flag from Jimmy Spithill, and he got in real trouble. This was the first Y flag here. He luffed. Talk to us.
Well, I think there was nothing in that as well. The boats were very close, but Team New Zealand was just across them, and I think it actually put him back a boat length when he did the luff to try and avoid them.
And let's just get into the heads of Jimmy Spithill. You know, he'll be struggling right now.
No, I don't think so. These guys are professionals, you know. He sailed the boat very well, and I think he could actually go a little bit faster.
And clearly a chance. Oracle Team USA are by no means out of this. It was very close.
Very close. I'd say it was a great race.
And so in the next race, we've got it coming up in just a few minutes. You'd be looking as coach for Oracle Team USA. What would you tell them they got to do?
I wouldn't change much. I think they'll get a chance to start probably a little bit better, and he'll... you know, there's a lot of races ahead of them, and, you know, he could easily change.
Chris, the windward berth at the start, is that going to be crucial for the next race?
It's uncertain. It depends on the angle of each one. But certainly, Oracle Team USA have got poor entry. Like Brad says, I think they're going to come with a great start at this one, and they'll be on the front foot.
Well, we saw a few pre-race nerves on Oracle Team USA, and we have a little picture of an incident that occurred just before the start when one of their crew members, Joey Newton, fell off the boat. Would you believe it? There is a man, there he goes, on the leeward hull, a man overboard incident. Well, we'll try and play that again for you, but that is Joey Newton right there if you missed it. Here he goes, running across the side of the boat. Oh, slip, boom! Straight in the water. It's cold and wet, unlike the racing, which is hot and close. There he goes, Joey, just taking an unceremonious dump. He gets put in the boat, and remember, you do not get a penalty if you lose anybody off the boat. So they got no penalty. That was pre-start anyway. Is that nerves, Brad?
Well, it looked like he just slipped to me. Looks pretty slippery on that thing.
How do you fancy being out on the boats?
I think I would have gone over a lot earlier.
Yeah, very good. Okay, well, Chris, just talk to us about the next race. Oracle Team USA have got the advantage on that port start entry.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I hope it's as good as that one. I mean, that was an epic race, so that's exactly what we wanted to see. The boats were super close, and I think we're going to see this more of the same. Both teams, their nerves will be out the back a little bit. They will realise that the boat speed differences. They've answered a lot of the questions for us, and it's going to be about racing, which is just.
And one more
brilliant.
quick piece we've seen in addition to the back of the Oracle Team USA boat. They've got what the New Zealand boat. We've got what Grant Dalton calls the pie warmers at the back. Look at those two spoilers at the back. Chris, what are they doing, and why have they got them on there?
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think one theory is it's a little bit more area. Effectively a bit more wing or sail area, but I think one of the other things is sort of redirection. The seal underneath the wing between the main wing and the underwing fairing and the deck increases the percentage gains hugely.
Okay, super. Brad, who's going to win the next race?
Whoever wins the start.
Whoever wins the start. Okay, well, that was wonderful, fantastic, amazing. We haven't seen close racing like that in the America's Cup for many, many years. It's a mouth-watering battle in prospect. And up next, race number 2.
The graphics we're seeing over the live pictures are a huge leap in TV technology. They're the brainchild of Stan Honey and his Emmy Award-winning team.
Sailing, the objective is really just to make the sport more accessible to non-sailors. Without the inserted graphics to make it easy to understand, who's ahead, who's behind, who's gaining, who's losing, without that, sailing has a pretty high hurdle to get to where you can understand it well enough, where you develop a real commitment to it.
AC Liveline works by tracking the boats and cameras through precision GPS, then crunching the numbers to superimpose that data onto our TV screens. Stan developed this technology while at Sport Vision, which he co-founded, for NASCAR and American football. But no one had done it from a moving platform.
Technically, the biggest challenge in sailing was the fact that the camera's in the helicopter. And all the other sports we've done, where we've done inserted graphics into the real world, the camera's been mounted on a tripod. In sailing, the camera's in a helicopter, and the helicopter's far away, and it's moving all around, and then the camera's moving relative to the helicopter. And so that required us to measure the camera position to a couple of centimeters, and then the camera orientation to 1/100 of a degree.
Data is also beamed back from several fixed points on land.
One of our access points is on the Alcatraz Light, which has a good view of the race course, but unfortunately it also has a great view of the city, so it's subject to a lot of interference. But in San Francisco, I think we have 7 or 8 different access points set up on the different piers and on Alcatraz.
During racing, Stan's team checks the accuracy of all the data and offers the TV director options for analysis. While they're focused on a complex job, it's you, the viewer, who they have in mind.
One of the things about sailing that has been a frustration for many years to communicate sailing is the fact that it's a race, but yet boats are going in completely different directions. And fans struggle with that. If they're racing, why don't they go the same way? But yet, when you show the field of play and you show the 100-meter lines, people instantly see, oh, I get it, that boat's ahead, that other boat's behind. And then it's very natural. They very naturally start to understand, oh, they can't go straight. They got to go one way or the other, so they tack back and forth.
AC Liveline is now key to the event. Race officer John Craig uses it to set the course, and the umpires base their accurate, real-time calls on the data in their computerized cabin.
Two of the things that we're hoping to get solved is to show how the current affects the boats, and to show how the sailors are using their own turbulent air to affect, their competitors, and what the limitations of that technique are on boats that sail faster than the wind.
So conditions out on the race course look good for the start of race number 2. We are moments away from it, but there is still an issue on board Oracle Team USA.
Yeah, but we've been watching them here, out on the water, and it looks like they've still got this minor issue with their wing. And remember, they do have that card they can play if they don't want to sail. So you can see here a bit of sticky back on the wing, holding it together. Not 100% sure. Looks like the Kleiser's busted, and that's going to slow them down slightly.
How big of an issue could that be, considering the power and the sheer loads that wing is under? Could it delaminate?
Well, you can see it is a bit of an issue. Everyone's always looking up at it. You can see how much attention everyone's placing on this wing. And if it blows out, the whole wing could blow the trailing edge out. So it is quite a big issue.
Well, we're going to get ready to race with that wing either way. And let's have a look again at the race course. It's another 5-leg course starting between the 2 marks just below the Golden Gate Bridge. Hard left-hand turn sailing downwind to turn number 2, the leeward gates. They can go left or right back upwind, around the windward gates, and then back downwind for a final right-hand turn and a sprint to the finish off of America's Cup Park again.
And as you can see here, the flood's starting to slow up, and we're starting to get a little bit of ebb on the shore. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen down at the bottom, it's ebbing, yet up at the top, it's still flooding on the right. So maybe not as much of advantage of going up the cone on the right-hand side at the bottom mark, but expecting to see them tacking up the left-hand side of the shore again.
Back out on the water with both helmsmen. Jimmy Spithill to the left, Oracle Team USA. Dean Barker to the right. A lot calmer than we saw in the first race. He's got 1 point over the American team.
You can see how much spray's on board when the windward dagger board goes in and out of the water, and they've got little spray deflectors on the boats to ensure it doesn't get in their face. You can see that inflatable tube just on the inside there that blocks it from the crew, but pretty wet ride out there for these boys.
And slippery too. We saw one crew member fall overboard in practice before today's race. Do you think that shook up the team at all, Oracle Team USA?
Nah, probably just shook up Joey, who fell overboard, but you know, they're back on board, and these guys are professionals. I'm sure they've fallen off before. I know Jimmy's stepped off the boat once or twice, so not a huge issue.
Well, what was funny was seeing Oracle Team USA, or rather Emirates Team New Zealand's tender, making sure he was okay and then snapping a few photos of Joey in the water.
A couple of photos just to proof that they did fall over there. It's always funny.
There's the shot from Regardless, our race committee boat. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go. On board with Oracle Team USA.
Just gonna turn up here. Here we go. All right, just cruising here,
So Nathan,
boys.
if you were these guys, what is the pre-start plan? What are you thinking? How are you going to win this race and turn the tides?
Well, they're on port this time, so they enter on port. They only have the one maneuver to do so. It's going to be really important to make sure they make that tack or jibe at the right moment. And then they just got to get their time on distance better. It looked like Dean and Ray did a better job of getting the time on distance better to the start line. These guys are about half a length behind, and they just need to fix that, and they'll probably lead around Mark 1.
Just gonna tack onto lay there.
So we're coming up on the 3-minute mark for the start of race number 2, day number 1 of the America's Cup here in San Francisco, and the breeze is up. Flag number 4 went away. That means we are less than 3 minutes to go to the start.
As you can see, they've swapped sides this time on board here. Emirates Team New Zealand sitting out on the right-hand side, so they're going to be entering at 2 minutes, whereas Oracle get the 10-second advantage. And it'll be really interesting to see if they have the same strategies or if Jimmy's going to be just as aggressive when he's on the port tack.
We've said time and time again that the boat that enters on port from the left has an advantage, Nathan, in the pre-start. How much do you think that'll help Oracle Team USA in the second race?
I think that'll be a big help to them. And you know, Chris Draper made a good comment in the halftime show about how good Dean Barker and the boys did about entering spot on the 2 minutes 10. To me, it's shaping up that Oracle is slightly late here, but we'll see how they go.
So 2 minutes 10, the time they're supposed to enter the line. 2 minutes 4 seconds is when they do. Oracle Team USA into the start box first. At 2 minutes, it's Emirates Team New Zealand next on starboard. Here we go, the pre-start of race 2.
And Jimmy was pretty late there, and what that's allowed to do is allow Dean to do a really good foiling jibe right behind him. So Dean's been able to put a little bit more pressure on Jimmy here. If Jimmy goes into attack now, then Dean will be able to slot in underneath him quite nicely.
So the next maneuver is Oracle Team USA's. What would you do, tack or jibe?
Well, I think they're going to tack because it's flooding out there so much. A jibe puts you below the pin and ley line. And Dean's going to roll into attack to leeward of him here. And now it's the question of, do you roll and do you want to lead, or are you happy to sit up above?
Well, we saw Emirates Team New Zealand starting above in the first race. This is sort of a repeat of what we saw in the first start, but the opposite. Now it's Oracle Team USA reaching over the top of Emirates Team New Zealand. 1 minute to go to the start, and Oracle now has set up for the leeward position.
Yeah, well, Oracle went for the roll there, and looks like they might have gone slightly too aggressive because they've now let Team New Zealand a little bit ahead of them. And these boats are hard enough to sail at the best of times, but when you're engaging in pre-start activities like this, you can see the whole time how low Oracle's bows are under the water.
Now New Zealand reaches over the bow of Oracle Team USA, but that doesn't work. They'll slow down. They'll set up to windward, and it looks like.
And watch for Jimmy here going for the hook. You hear him, he's going for the hook, and he's going to try and stop him in this start.
Oh, we could see contact there. New Zealand could be in trouble. Protest from Oracle Team USA. We'll see how the umpires make the call, but it's 5 seconds now to go to the start. Both boats are slow. Oracle Team USA in the wing wash of New Zealand. The gun is off, but the boats are not. No penalty, it's all clear. Emirates Team New Zealand accelerates first.
And again, another great start by Dean. He pushed hard there to defend his position as the lead boat. Jimmy went for the penalty and didn't get it. And now it's all about boat speed across the first reach.
On board Oracle Team USA. Can they hang in there to leeward of Emirates Team New Zealand heading into mark number 1?
It looks exactly the same as race 1. Dean just got a slightly better start. Better angle being the windward boat, and now he can just bear away on his own time.
An amazing start from Emirates Team New Zealand gives them the lead at mark number 1. This time the delta only 2 seconds over Oracle Team USA.
And it's all going to come down to this first jibe here. Both boats going basically the same speed. And you can hear them setting up on Emirates Team New Zealand. Jimmy might go further again this time. Let's just wait and see.
So the Kiwis set up for the jibe. Oracle Team USA, will they pounce on top of them or will they continue? Oracle Team USA will jibe first. New Zealand continues, and now the Kiwis will set up.
Good racing there, and it comes down to both boats. Again, foil jibing, and it's all about how quickly you can get your boat up to that top speed again and moving out to a nice little lead here for Emirates Team New Zealand. They're bow forward, so they've got fresh air and they're to leeward, and there's no pressure on them now for the next jibe from this position.
So New Zealand out in front for now. Let's go back into the pre-start and see how it happened.
So here it looks like Jimmy's going to go for the hook. And he goes quite aggressively for the hook, and he tries to get some contact here to get a penalty. So he looked like he was going high risk there, trying to get the penalty. And what happened in the end is instead of having the penalty go his way, he then lost control of the pre-start. Check out how close they are.
Unbelievable. Tough to tell whether there was contact there, but certainly New Zealand got the lead, and there was no penalty in that pre-start, but now it's pretty close. Heading downwind, Oracle Team USA on the offensive, New Zealand on the defense. On board with Emirates Team New Zealand.
Okay, they're setting up to jibe here near the boundary now. Both boats will jibe at the exact same time here. Oracle just went slightly early, and again, Emirates Team New Zealand jibing to leeward and in front, and that's a really strong position tactically there from Ray Davies. The best way for Oracle to make gains here and make a passing manoeuvre is to get on the opposite tack, and Emirates Team New Zealand have done a good job of just staying close to them the whole way down the run. And for us as a viewer, it's great because we get to see now which is the faster of the two boats, and they're also probably having a nice little check in themselves.
Well, remember race number 1, Nathan, you thought Oracle Team USA looked like they had a lower angle, a better course into the next mark downwind. What do you think now?
Let's go on board. It looks like they are pointing a little bit lower at the moment. Let's just go on board with Oracle and hear what they're talking about.
Past intersection. Happy to set up and go.
So what JK was saying there is we're passing a section. We can jibe now and make the bottom mark on the ley line. If they jibe any earlier than where they are here, they're going to hit a boundary and be forced to do an extra jibe. And you'll see both boats jibing at the exact same time. So they have the same information on board. And Emirates is just blocking every manoeuvre that Oracle is trying to make.
Looks like Oracle Team USA a little bit faster.
Going a little bit faster, but both boat speeds jump up and down. Like they'll sit at 39, 40 knots as their top speed and at a bottom speed of 36. So it's keeping it in the groove. That's the job of Glenn Ashby and Dean Barker and Emirates Team New Zealand, to keep the boat going as fast as possible. And then they're just basically doing as they're told. Ray's telling them what the plan is. And I heard him say there before, right-hand mark at the bottom. So expect to see a right-hand turn down at the bottom here.
15 to a jibe. 10, 9, 10. Yep.
So a right-hand turn looking downwind means they're going to want to head left looking upwind towards the Golden Gate Bridge, right?
Exactly, and as we saw from that current graphic earlier, it looks like there's a little bit of an ebb or a current going against the wind, so that's the favoured way to go up the beat now.
Going up, boys.
So New Zealand is in command of which way to go around the leeward gates. It'll be a right-hand turn around the left-hand mark, heading inshore in the lead over Oracle Team USA. These boats in race number 1 were a bit closer at this bottom mark, just coming off the foils there. Oracle Team USA around 7 seconds behind.
A little bit of a wobbly bottom mark rounding there. It's really difficult to do those bottom mark roundings because you got to adjust the foil rate quite a lot as you go around, and it looked like they just had a little bit too much lift on the foil and did a little wheelie just before they came round, and then the windward hull comes crashing down. So.
I'd like to try and continue hold here for a little bit, okay?
Talking about, Nathan.
Yes, exactly. It's just a little bit too much lift there on the foil, as we see on the replay here, and you can watch on board one more time. Watch the windward hull crash down, and that's never a good feeling as you're rounding the mark. You want to keep these boats nice and smooth. The smoother you can be on board these boats, the better they're going to travel.
So the delta was 7 seconds. That slowed them down for sure. And I'll bet the delta is a little bit more to Emirates Team New Zealand now.
All our immersion, right?
John Kostecki calling the shots for Jimmy Spithill. What are their options?
Well, their options here is they're trying to sail a high mode. They've come around the bottom mark. Both boats are on starboard tack. And their whole goal here is to try and keep the boat as high as they can to block Emirates Team New Zealand from tacking. You can see the current here is pushing the boats back upwind. They've just come into the ebb now, which is going up against the wind, and you can see here both boats sailing slow. 20 knots is a slow mode for these boats upwind.
If you can call that slow,
If you can call that slow. Whereas a low mode might be 25 or 26. So both boats sailing as high as they can, and I expect they're going to get to the boundary, and the Emirates Team New Zealand will use the boundary as the right of way to come out on port and make the cross.
You can see that boundary to the upper left-hand side of your screen. That's new in this America's Cup. Here are the VMGs. Velocity made good, the balance of speed and angle.
Yeah, and what you can see here is the angle there. 38, 39 by both boats. They're really squeezing it into the wind as much as they can here. And their VMG boat speeds are fairly similar. I think Emirates Team New Zealand's probably slightly quicker here. But on the last bit, we were seeing them in the 16s and 17 knots on the VMG. So they're definitely sailing a higher mode, which is not ideal for their speed.
Yeah. What do you want to do? Gonna go before him, or you want to go the other side?
You can hear them trying to decide, are they going before or after here.
Better make that decision quick. Here comes Emirates Team New Zealand tacking to port and crossing from the left.
Stand by, guys. That mode was good before, Dino. Would have been a solo with him.
So you can hear that Ray Davies saying to Dean Barker he was really happy with the mode we were sailing, and now we just want to simo them. That basically means we just want to do exactly what the other boat's doing. We're in front. They know that Oracle has to do a big job here to pass them, and if they can just keep doing exactly what they're doing, then they're going to stay in front. You can see the tide line there. That's the ebb, the dirty water pushing out of the bay, and they're about to start to sail out of the ebb and expect them to go back left as we look further up the beat.
Staying on the inside.
On board, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Getting us into a little bit worse current. At some point we'd end up just going in and doing our own thing. We've got to really make sure we're in phase. Yeah. This is pretty right hand here. We're gaining all the time.
Be ready to be, as soon as he tacks from here on, we go with him.
Yeah, 100%.
Great comms on board, isn't it? You can hear them saying we're gauging here, we're making gains, and as soon as they go to tack, we're going to go straight with them. And you can see the difference between race 1 and race 2 again is the current is going with them as they go up the course, stronger on the left-hand side, but it's not a huge factor. I think it's more about sailing in the breeze, and for Emirates Team New Zealand, just staying between Oracle and the next mark.
Grant Dalton, the director of Emirates Team New Zealand, 56 years old, still one of the fittest guys on the boat. Off the water, he's in charge of this team. On the water, he's on the pumps, the handles, the grinders. Here comes attack from Oracle Team USA.
You'd expect Emirates to go straight with them based on the conversation we just heard.
turning too hard. Second half.
And just as you said, Nathan, it's Emirates Team New Zealand's turn to tack and protect their lead over Oracle Team USA. Both teams heading back to the left inshore to that favorable ebb current.
It's really tough to make a gain here now for Oracle. They're basically being covered the whole way around the course. Even if they are going to be going faster, it's tough. And you can see here on board, you know, Jimmy and Kyle. This is Kyle's first big day in the America's Cup. Youngest boy on the boat, and doing a great job trimming the wing, because clearly the boat speed's pretty similar.
That's Kyle just running off screen there to the new windward side of the boat. In the next tack as they cross, Oracle Team USA still behind Emirates Team New Zealand. And that does not look like a very happy Jimmy Spithill.
No, it doesn't. You know, last race was much closer than this, and this race they're behind by 260 metres and really not having much of a chance of getting back into this race with the way that the Kiwis are sailing. And he's just got to be thinking, all right, we'll just keep pushing here and just keep waiting for our opportunity.
So Oracle had tack. Now it's Emirates Team New Zealand's turn to check back into the middle of the course as the fans are treated to a fantastic view off of Marina Green in the America's Cup Village, halfway up this upwind leg.
And looking at the tacks just from you know, the shots we're seeing here from the helicopters, amazing pictures. It looks like Team New Zealand are tacking slightly better. What you can see is they have a self-tacking jib as opposed to Oracle, where they have to keep tacking the jib, and it looks like every tack Oracle's jib's just flapping a little bit too long, and probably that setup or that decision was made a year ago, and looks like Emirates set up for better boat handling in terms of ease of sailing the boat. And they're also managing the boards really nicely in the tacks. Every time they tack, they seem to be foiling that hull right around, and I think that's where the gains are coming from at the moment.
Okay, stand by. 3, 2, 1, here we go.
One of the biggest splits we've seen in the race so far. With these new course boundaries, you can't really bang the corner. You can't go all the way out to one side or the other like you could in previous Americas.
No, exactly. The boundaries are brought in nice and close, and there's no banging the corners out there on this race course. They might go boundary to boundary, but you know, they all know which way they want to go. They want to go on the left-hand side, and they're just tacking up the shore. And here we see a quick glimpse of foiling upwind, and obviously a right-hand shift here, so they're putting the bow down, trying to get the boat to go fast and get back into the advantage current.
On board, Emirates Team New Zealand, the prod cam on the bow. You can just see that leeward hull on the right-hand side, jumping out of the water a little bit. That's the upwind foiling you were referring to, Nathan, right?
Exactly, just trying to get the leeward hull out of the water. Every time that leeward hull's in the water, it's extra drag, and we've been seeing them practicing this throughout the Louis Vuitton series. And there's just moments in the race when you want to be foiling upwind, and that obviously there was a moment where they wanted to go low and fast, get rid of the hull, get it out of the water, get rid of the drag, and the whole time you're sailing upwind, you are having lift on the foil. And you can see on the left-hand side of this picture, they're just starting to lift the bow out, and every now and then the whole hull comes out, but the last thing you want is too much lift, because then you get massive leeway.
How far is it to right going late?
20 seconds we can get to right gate late. We'll be looking to hit him on this next one. Yeah.
Definitely going to hit him on this next one, boys.
We'll be looking to hit him on this next one. What does that mean, Nathan?
Well, that means they're just looking to leeward at Oracle. Both boats are on port tack at the moment, and when Oracle tack on the starboard tack, hitting him means we're just going to tack straight on him. We're not going to give him a chance to get past. So look for when Oracle make the next tack for Emirates Team New Zealand to tack straight on top of them.
And here it comes as if on cue. Oracle Team USA tacking on to starboard, converging with the Kiwis' course. And there it is. The Kiwis also tacking as per plan. Now both boats on starboard heading to the left. The next turning marks gate number 3 off in the distance.
And here it looks like they're shaping up for another right-hand turn at the top mark. So not many options here for Jimmy to get it past. And let's just keep an eye on board of what their plan is from here.
One and in right.
Feel like one and in right, boys.
So it sounds like both teams have the same plan. One and in right means one tack, and then we're going to go to the right-hand mark looking upward.
5, 3, 2, 1, tacker. So you'll be ready lay line again. We'll stop for a little leak.
So it's Team New Zealand in the lead with the luxury to tack first onto port and head into that right-hand gate, looking upwind. There are the marks just off in the corner. Strong position for Emirates Team New Zealand. And just like you said, Nathan, Oracle Team USA has the same plan, right gate, right-hand turn.
It's almost the only option, because if you take the left mark looking upwind, you can see how much softer the breeze is in towards the shore, and they only have about 20 seconds before the first jump, so a very difficult manoeuvre to pull off.
Listening in with Emirates Team New Zealand. Race 1 of the Louis Vuitton Cup Finals. This moment right here, they dug both bows in, but all comfortable on board the all-Kiwi boat as they rip downwind and pop up on the foils. Out in the lead.
Just watch on board here. They'll be looking at a jibe pretty soon as they approach the boundary on the northern side of the race course.
Well, as the time in this race decreases, the time for Oracle Team USA increases. The delta between the two boats in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. 40 seconds and counting. Now it's Oracle Team USA's turn. Right-hand gate. As they start to foil downwind, the difference, 46 seconds. So Oracle Team USA already having jibed, heading back into the middle of the downwind leg. Or Emirates Team New Zealand, rather, out in front. Oracle Team USA running out of options, Nathan Outerbridge.
It's tough from here. They don't really have any options, as we saw at the top mark. Both teams wanted to go right and right mark, and they just end up sailing to the boundary here, as we can see, and their tracks are going to be basically the same. They just have to follow because there's no passing lanes at the top of the course. Where we might see something interesting happening is halfway down the course, but once you get this far behind, it's pretty tough for them to get back into the race.
Foil to foil jibes, a thing of the norm in this America's Cup. A beautiful job for Oracle Team USA, but is it too little too late? There is the difference in the view from on board the American boat as the Kiwis rip downwind for the last time, heading for the finish. See the red on the water there, the course for Emirates Team New Zealand.
50 seconds the
it's
other way.
Not quite straight, a little zigzag there.
Yeah, it's a little bit zigzag, and I think that's to do with the puffs that are on the race course. It's quite a puffy venue here, sailing in San Francisco, and not always is it easy to sail in a straight line, and every time you get a gust of breeze, you just end up bearing away and soaking it down a little. So that's why you see these boats always a bit wobbly around the racetrack.
Beautiful.
Minute 20 to intersection.
On board Oracle Team USA. Kyle Langford replacing Dirk de Ritter as the wing trimmer. That was a last-minute replacement. So he's in a new position and the youngest guy on the boat. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, definitely a lot of pressure on his shoulders today, and he'll be happy to get back to the dock and have an assessment of how he went. But I think he's done an amazing job. He's done a lot of sailing on these boats as well. Everyone needs a spare sailor in their team in case someone gets an injury, and he stepped up to the challenge pretty good today.
150 this way, 50 the other. 34 intersection.
The next jibe from Emirates Team New Zealand. Foil to foil, beautiful. Dean Barker just taking his time. I remember watching the first jibe in that first race, Nathan. He was sprinting as fast as he could, the adrenaline up, the nerves. Right now, we're seeing a pretty cool and relaxed Dean Barker.
Yeah, exactly. Once the boats are close together, you know how important and how urgent it is to do the job properly and get across the boat. And once you have a nice lead like the Kiwis do at the moment, there's no rush to do anything. It's just back to what it would be like in the training session, and these guys are doing a great job. And you see here at the back of the boat, Ray Davies shifting across the boat. He's down there, he's starting to look at the bottom marks, calling the angle, and you know, there's a little wobble there on board, but not a major issue, and they're just going to go to lay line from here and pick the lay on and round the bottom mark.
20 seconds.
20 seconds, you can hear them on board. That's Ray Davies talking to Dean. Time to the next jibe.
And as you can see on the top of the picture there, Oracle Team USA also jibing and following, because it's the way the race course goes. There's not many chances for them to get back into it from here.
Both of these teams have software on board, you were telling me before the race, and it tells them exactly where they are on the course and when to jibe. So it's no wonder we're seeing both teams sailing in the exact same tracks on the race course.
Exactly. They have like a little iPad on their person, and Ray Davies uses that to help him pick the lay lines. But you know, they've done over 100 days sailing on this boat now and been here for a very long time, so there's no surprise. These guys are professional sailors, and they get it right basically every time.
Well, New Zealand has certainly got it right both times today for this day number 1 of the America's Cup. A high-speed right-hand turn as they bring it home to the fans of America's Cup Park and everybody here in San Francisco. They put on quite a masterful show. If you've ever wondered what it's like to get shot in the face with a fire hose, just have a sail on board an AC-72, right, Nathan?
That's the thing. You sail these boats around at 40 knots of boat speed, and you don't realize how fast you're going until the windward hull touches the water and you get 40 knots of water in your face. So you can see them duck for cover every time that happens there.
Dean Barker at the helm. He won the last race of the successful defense in 2000, the America's Cup in New Zealand. A devastating loss of their defense in 2003, and an even more devastating loss in 2007 to Alingi. That 1 second final finish. Dean Barker has that in his head. He's not going to rest on his laurels, but he is going to be proud of his team, and certainly the Kiwi Nation will as well. Emirates Team New Zealand goes up 2-0 over Oracle Team USA. The fans celebrating on shore, but not too much celebration aboard the Kiwi boat, right, Nathan?
No, they know there's a very long way to go. They'll be feeling more relieved than happy at the moment. You know, they've been training for 3 years for this event, for this race, for this day, and you know, they're just extremely probably satisfied inside knowing they've got a long way to go still.
Well, so has Oracle Team USA. They put a lot of effort into their 2-boat program. Here we go, day number 1 of the America's Cup, and they go down with 2 losses to Emirates Team New Zealand. So how do you think they feel on board, and what can they do to turn things around tomorrow?
I think they would have learned a lot today. You know, yes, they didn't win either of their races, but I think they were, you know, they can take a lot out of it. Some of their starts were quite good. I think they need to work on their time on distance in the pre-starts and really work on getting a split if they are behind to make a chance of getting into it.
Bad luck.
One circle here.
You can hear Jimmy Spithill telling the guys, well done, but bad luck. That is not a happy American team today.
And I heard JK saying no penalty in the pre-start there, so obviously they were hoping for that penalty as a big part of their pre-start plan.
So a frustrated Jimmy Spithill and a very happy Dean Barker as he gives the fans a flyby with Emirates Team New Zealand, the victor today. Races 1 and 2 of the America's Cup. Look at that. And you can hear the fans on board. They're quite happy as well.
You or me.
Yeah, right.
Listen to him, Nathan. That's fantastic.
Plenty of
Look at all
passionate
those
Kiwis
people
down there, isn't there?
I remember when you guys crossed the finish line for the last race with Artemis Racing, and the fans were just as happy. That must have been a pretty cool moment for you guys.
It was, yeah, it was an amazing moment. You know, we had a really good series. You know, obviously we didn't get to win any of the races, but for us, we enjoyed it. And the amount of support we got here from the general public of San Francisco was a great feeling, and something I'd never really felt in any event I'd competed in before.
It also seems if you walk around America's Cup Park, you talk to the fans, they seem to be pretty divided right down the middle. An immense amount of support for Emirates Team New Zealand. A lot of Kiwis have made the trip up here, but equally so for Oracle Team USA. Lots of American flags supporting the hometown team. And there's a lot more racing to go in this best of 17 America's Cup match. Here comes the support crew for Emirates Team New Zealand alongside with refreshments and lunch, and perhaps the shore crew gets right into it and looks over the boat, make sure everything's okay for tomorrow.
Yeah, they'll be, you know, obviously coming on board with, you know, drinks and things like that, but they do get the shore crew on straight away if there's any issues, to just try and check over it before they take it back to the mooring. And part of racing these boats is making sure that they stay together, and that starts the moment you finish the race. So they'll do a big check over on both these boats as soon as they get back to the dock.
Well, one boat that sounds like they'll have some work to do on their wing is Oracle Team USA. Remember that little bit of damage up top before that race. Dean Barker smiling and waving to the crowds and having a bit of a snack. He's earned it after winning that second race. We go on board to hear from Dean Barker himself.
A lot of work still to go. They need 7 more wins as we go on board Emirates Team New Zealand. And Ray Davies, the tactician. Ray, congratulations. You couldn't have dialed up a better situation for you and your crew.
Yeah, thanks a lot. No, that was a fantastic day. We're really happy with how it all panned out.
Hey, Ray, Kenny Reed here. Congratulations. Great job. Hey, take us back to that pre-start. Jimmy kind of came at you guys maybe a little early or a little below that ley line. He gave a quick luff. It looked really close between the boats.
Yeah, we just managed to stay bow forward and keep far enough forward that he couldn't quite get to us. Definitely a touch and go moment of the race, but you know, Dean did a really nice job of judging that. You wanted to have him tucked in close to us, but obviously not close enough. This is an issue for us, so that was spot on. That was pretty much the race right there at that moment.
Ray, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations. We'll see you back on the water tomorrow.
Thank you.
So Ray Davies quite happy with that race, the tactician for Emirates Team New Zealand, and he should be.
Yeah, exactly. They've done exactly what they wanted to do today and come out here and get 2 bullets, and they go to bed tonight, you know, feeling pretty relaxed about the rest of the week, and knowing that you know, they're ahead, but there's still a long way to go.
A long way to go for both teams, for sure. Oracle Team USA, by many accounts, was thought to have the faster boat, at least early on. Emirates Team New Zealand, a much more stable platform and perhaps better crew work. These two teams have effectively come together in their design curves and their crew work improvement to be relatively even, certainly in race number 1, and I think race number 2 doesn't really show how close these boats are in terms of speed and maneuvers.
Exactly, and I wonder if that damage to the wing did slow the boat down at all. You know, they weren't quite the same speed as Emirates Team New Zealand, but you know, also they didn't really get a split like in race 1. They got a split at the bottom of the course, and that gave them a good chance to get back into the race. And I thought that the Kiwis did a good job of just never giving these guys a chance to get back into the race, and it's tough when you're in that position.
Well, it seems the start is a lot of the race, isn't it? Now we're on board with Jimmy Spithill, Oracle Team USA. He's preparing to talk to us. Jimmy, a tough day for you guys out on the water this afternoon. What are your thoughts after race number 2?
Yeah, obviously not the result we wanted. I think the boats are very close. I thought the boys did a good job on board. We're a little surprised there. We thought he was going to get a penalty off the start there, but it didn't happen, and we just weren't able to accelerate as quick as they were. So very difficult to come back from behind. They didn't make many mistakes after that. But look, the boats are very close, and tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, Jimmy, Nathan, really impressive. You know, I like the aggression in the start, and I thought you were slightly hard done by there by the umpires in that pre-start. But you know, you got to be happy that the boat's performing nicely, and you know, you guys are having a really tight race. Was that wing damage an issue throughout the race course? We saw you guys looking at it a lot. Just explain to us what kind of damage you had there.
Yeah, like I said, we're a little surprised with the umpire call, but we had the film, just the Clysar starting to come off the wing, and we were sort of questionable whether we were going to race or not, but the boys made a good call that we could get around the racetrack and wouldn't stop us, so it didn't really affect us at all.
Jimmy, it seemed like you guys fought hard in both races for the leeward end. Was that your plan, and what are your thoughts on both pre-starts?
Yeah, the first race I actually wanted to be tighter under him. He had a little bit of gauge and was able to sort of get over the top. The second race, we wanted to be tight under him, which we were, and we went for the hook, and we thought he fouled us, but we just didn't accelerate as good as they did, and unfortunately he just got round us again at that reach mark, and from then on it was very difficult to come back into it, and they did a pretty nice job.
Well, Jimmy, one thing you and your crew have shown us is that the boats look very even, the crew work looks very even, and there's a lot more racing to go. Good luck to you and your team tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.
I got to give them a lot of credit. You know, it's pretty cool to go on board with these guys, and tomorrow definitely is another day. Today, back in the pre-start, race number 2.
Yeah, and he goes in closely. He tries to get the penalty on him, and umpires just called no foul here. But let's look close. Is there contact?
Certainly looked like it, didn't it?
It looked very close, but the thing is, the umpires on the water and in the booth are never going to see that kind of contact. And if in doubt, they're always going to green flag that.
Here's another look at it in the pre-start, the luff. Well, if there wasn't contact, you can't get any closer than that with 2 AC-72s.
Exactly, and this is the issue in the pre-start here. He now, because he doesn't get the penalty, he's trying to accelerate in the wing wash at the disturbed area of the boat ahead. And from here, he always had a tough moment, and he really needed to get that penalty, maintain the hook, and that was what was going to win the start for him.
So live by the sword, die by the sword. A very aggressive Jimmy Spithill and Oracle Team USA behind in leg number 1. Look at the speed for Emirates Team New Zealand.
It's impressive how fast these boats accelerate from hardly moving to 40 knots. And once you're on the foils, you're off and away. And I really liked how close that was round Mark 1. You know, there were 2 seconds apart here, and it was still game on from here.
Then the question was who was going to jibe first. We thought it was going to be Emirates Team New Zealand, who sent their crew down to leeward, but they're on standby. It is Oracle Team USA who makes the first move.
Exactly, and I guess Jimmy, he realised if he goes any further, then when New Zealand jibe, there's no room for him in between there and the boundary, so he had to go first.
Mark number 2, the leeward mark. Both boats take the left-hand turn this time, different from race number 1. Oracle Team USA comes slamming off the foil.
Exactly, and here it just looks like they do a massive skid out, too much leeway, maybe too much lift on the board, and then that's 2 boat lengths lost there. So had they have just done this a little bit better, would have just kept the pressure on the boat ahead. And these are just tiny little areas, tiny mistakes that are costing them a lot.
So now we head upwind and inshore. Emirates Team New Zealand capitalized on a big lead to turn it into another big win. Race number 2 belongs to the Kiwis.
And as you can see here, you know, these guys are happy. They're smiling, and they know there is a long way to go, but so far today, no mistakes from these boys.
Well, if you're fans of Emirates Team New Zealand, today has been a great day. But also, if you're neutral fans of sailing, we have had 2 fantastic races. I am joined here at America's Cup Park by 4-time America's Cup winner Brad Butterworth and the helmsman from Luna Rossa Challenge, an Olympic medal winner, Chris Draper. Well, we will go first straight in to the pre-start because, lads, that was really where the action was. We saw Oracle Team USA again to leeward. And was this the right place to be, Brad?
Well, I think that, yeah, it was a tough start for both boats, really, but Oracle had a very strong position there, and if they touched, I was surprised there wasn't a penalty, really.
Well, we can see it right here. Chris, talk to us about this. Was this a touch right here?
Yeah, I mean, Brad and I were just talking about it. It's a pretty weak hook. It's so hard to get a good hook in these boats, and I think Dean probably could have done a little bit more to stay away, and it was very marginal whether there was contact or not, but I'm not sure. I mean, I think we thought originally it should have been a penalty, but looking at it again now, I'm not so sure.
Brad, a penalty against Emirates Team New Zealand. They were windward boat. They have to keep clear, right?
Yep, that's right. But I think if they touched, yes. If they didn't, well, no. And I agree with Chris.
Did they touch? Did they touch? Let's look at this right here. Oh, how close is that? Oh, no touch, no foul. Well, that's what the umpires decided. It is a pretty marginal call, but Emirates Team New Zealand were at risk. They got away with it, and, well, what do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, they sailed a perfect race after that, and it was, from that Mark 1, it was always going to be hard for Oracle to make something happen. The course is so tight, it was really locked down, and yeah, they sailed a great race.
Well, let's have a look at Mark 1 as they go off the starting line. It was extremely close, but Emirates Team New Zealand just got the best of it. Brad, they're in dirty air. Oracle Team USA in bad air here.
Yeah, I think they didn't sail a great race, Oracle. They got a thumping, really. I think Team New Zealand sailed well from the start and just seemed to pull away every minute of the race, really.
Okay, and your opinion is they got a thumping. I mean, that's bad for them. How can they recover?
I think they have to sail a lot different than the way they sailed in this race, because they basically just got behind and followed the other boat round, and you're never going to pass them that way.
And Chris, what do you think? I mean, they're under pressure right now. Oracle Team USA, what have they got to do?
Yeah, I mean, the first race looked like a real close battle. That one, as Brad said, was a bit of a pounding, and the problem is the course is just so locked down. It's so easy for a boat to dominate once they get ahead, and like Brad says, I mean, he put it that you've got to give something away to make something happen, and it's exactly right. Like, it's so hard to make those measured decisions. Okay, we need to make a little loss here to give ourselves a chance of making a gain, but that's what they needed to do there.
Brad, all this time, this money, this effort that they put in, Oracle Team USA lost the first 2 races. Well, you know, what can they do? Is this bad news? Is it game over?
Well, I think they've had a hard couple of weeks, you know, and it takes a bit of effort to put the cuckoo back in the clock and get everybody actually sailing properly. So, you know, time will tell. There's a lot of races to come.
Some nerves today off Oracle Team USA. They didn't quite sail as well as they should have, frankly.
Well, the first race was a very good race by both teams, and you got to give it to Team New Zealand. Dean and the crew are sailing exceptionally well.
And Chris, we saw a crew handling error around the leeward mark when there was water, and they just didn't quite get it right. Now, you've been around the leeward mark there and done these. What did they get wrong, and how did it affect them?
Yeah, there's a big combination of factors to get aligned, like getting the rake, backing the rake off at the right time, having the windward elevator, the windward rudder in the water at the right time. And it just basically just had to very, very suddenly dump the rake by the looks of things, and in order to get a VMG rounding. And they're hard. The gains and losses on those leeward marks are big distances in VMG.
Brad, it looks like Emirates Team New Zealand just better right now.
Yeah, they're better all round at the moment, but I mean, it's really early, and as a New Zealander, I wouldn't get too wound up just yet, you know. Like, they finished the race, they don't show a hell of a lot of emotion for that. They know it's a long way ahead, but if they sail like this every day, it's going to be good.
Yeah, and the build-up's obviously been a problem, Chris. The capsize was a problem 6 or 9 months ago when they destroyed one of their boats. Has that affected them badly as well? And what can they do to get back into this?
It's been a tough few weeks for them, but those guys, I mean, there's so much depth in that team. They will react, and they will come out absolutely firing tomorrow. No doubt in that. And if they need to make something happen, they've got so many people there with so much skill. They will make something happen quickly.
Okay, and last question for you, Brad. What happens if Oracle Team USA lose 2 races tomorrow? What happens within the team? What are they going to talk about and do?
Well, I think they've got to treat it like every day. It doesn't matter which team loses 2 races in a day. I think you have to, you know, it's a long series, and you have to make sure that you get better each day. They're going to try and get better each day.
Okay, well, superb insight from our wonderful guests, 4-time America's Cup winner Brad Butterworth and the helmsman from Luna Rossa Challenge. Real insight into those 2 race losses for the defender, Oracle Team USA. They have got a mountain to climb over the next few days. Tomorrow, 1:15 Pacific time and 2:15 Pacific time for races 3 and 4. It is going to be a mouth-watering scene. We look forward to it, and we will see you tomorrow.
When it comes to the history of this event, Bob Fisher is your man. He's covered 15 America's Cups over 46 years, and he wrote the book.
There's nothing quite like the America's Cup. There's no sporting event that can match the magic, the intrigue, and everything that goes with it. It has all of the components that make a mystery. But it's a different mystery because it has a resolution at the end. And this one is one that's steeped in history. After all, it began 162 years ago, and it's all here. This is where the history really begins for the America's Cup. It's 1851, years before the American Civil War, and it's the Royal Yacht Squadron regatta of that year. The Americans, members of the emergent New York Yacht Club, then only 7 years old, were invited by the Earl of Wilton, the Commodore of the Royal Yacht Squadron, to bring a yacht to Cowes, and were offered hospitality in the clubhouse. And they raced for the Royal Yacht Squadron £100 Cup, and that's where it all began. And this is the sort of boat they Technology rules in the America's Cup.
So it's been a big day here in the America's Cup, and fans all around the world were treated to two fantastic races. Here's a look at the scores. Emirates Team New Zealand up 2-0 over Oracle Team USA. Two more races are on tap tomorrow as we rejoin the action here in San Francisco. 1:15 the start of race 1, 2:15 the start of race 2 tomorrow. 3 and 4 overall for the series. And Nathan, what do you think could happen if you're Oracle Team USA?
I'm just going to go back there and watch the races closely and just make a few things, make a few little different decisions. I think, if they can win the start and lead around Mark 1, then they're probably going to win both races.
So the battle-hardened Kiwis have proven they're a formidable foe. They're here for one reason, to win the Cup and take it away from Oracle Team USA. The Americans will have to up their game to match the might of this sailing-obsessed nation. The score is 2-0 to Emirates Team New Zealand in this best-of-17 series for the 34th America's Cup. Join us tomorrow for races 3 and 4 as the September showdown continues here in San Francisco. For Nathan Outeridge and Andy Green, I'm Tucker Thompson.